Your resume isn't the full movie, it's the trailer. And no one wants to sit through a 3-hour trailer. One powerful page can change everything. That's how Catherine went from ignored to in demand. I'll teach you how to do the same in this episode. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Conscious Professional Podcast. I'm your host, Renee Fry, America's career strategist and your ultimate hype woman when it comes to building a career and life you actually love. Every week, I pull back the curtain on what really drives career growth and fulfillment. The mindset shifts, the strategies, and the truth-telling pep talks that you need to hear. Because if you're going to spend 1/3 of your life working, you deserve to work happy. Whether you're new here or a longtime listener, I'm so glad you're here. Let's get intentional, let's get inspired, and let's grow together. Let me ask you something. Have you ever poured hours into polishing up your resume, sent it out to a dozen of jobs you know you're qualified for, and then nothing? Zip, zilch, nada. Total crickets. No interview calls, no emails back, just silence. And in that silence, your mind starts spiraling. What's wrong with me? Am I not good enough? Why does it feel impossible to get noticed? If that's you right now, I want you to know something. It's not your fault. Because here's the truth no one tells you. It's not always the most experienced or smartest candidate who gets the job. It's the one who knows how to position themselves. And most people never learn this skill, and it's the reason they stay stuck for months or even years. The good news, once you learn how to position yourself, everything changes. Your interviews, your offers, and your confidence. If you've been wondering why you're not getting noticed, not getting any interviews, you're right where you need to be. Because today, I'm going to pull back the curtain on how to position yourself as the candidate every hiring manager wants to hire. This isn't about quick hacks or fluff. This is about proven strategies that I've seen work time and time again. And if you stick with me today, you'll walk away knowing exactly how to make hiring managers stop scrolling and say, that's the one. There are so many myths people believe about hiring. And let's bust the big one right away. Most people believe if they list everything on their resume, show all their experience, they'll land an interview. But here's the truth. I've sat in meetings with hiring managers reviewing candidates' resumes, and after 23 years in the business, I can promise you, hiring managers don't have time to dig through pages and pages of job duties. They're scanning, they're skimming. That's the reality. Hiring managers don't sit down with a cup of coffee, leisurely reading your resume from the top to bottom like it's a novel. They're busy. They're juggling meetings, deadlines, a dozen of other resumes. So when they look at yours, they want to see relevance, impact, and results right away in the first few seconds. If your resume looks like a job description instead of a highlight reel of your career wins, it's going to get passed over. And I know that might be hard to hear, but it's the truth. I've sat in those meetings. And I can promise you, no one has time to dig through endless lists of tasks and duties. And let's be real, and this might sound harsh, no one cares what you did 10 years ago. What really matters is what you've been doing the past 5 years. That's where your most relevant, up-to-date, and powerful results live. Now, does that mean you have to leave older experience off completely? No, hiring managers still want to see about 10 years of work history. And why? Because it shows your track record. It tells them if you're someone who changes jobs every year or if you stick around, grow, and get promoted. But here's where people get it wrong. They think more is more. They think by adding every detail, every bullet, every job responsibility, they're making themselves look more impressive. In reality, they're doing just the opposite. I encourage everyone to stick to a one-page resume. Yeah, one page, even if you're an executive. If you apply to Google with a resume that's longer than one page, it doesn't matter how brilliant you are. It's going straight to the trash. Your resume isn't an autobiography. It's not your life story. It's a short commercial about you. Its purpose is very simple: to get you the interview. That's it. All those other details, the long explanations, the extra stories, those belong in the interview when you actually have someone's attention and they want to know more. And here's another layer most people don't think about. Your resume shows how you communicate. When a hiring manager looks at it, they're asking, does this person know what's important? Can they communicate clearly and concisely? A 3-page resume sends the opposite message. It tells me you're verbose. It tells me you can't prioritize. Or honestly, it tells me you're a little arrogant, like, look at all the things I've done. I need 3 pages just to fit it all in. That's not how you stand out. That's how you overwhelm people. And then you go to the trash bin. Let me give you a real example. I worked with a gal named Catherine who came to me with a 3-page resume. She had packed in every single detail of her career, bullet after bullet, year after year. On paper, she was incredibly qualified, but no one was calling her back for an interview. And here's the truth. She was so skeptical of my advice when I told her we had to cut her resume down to 1 page. You should have seen her face. It was like I just told her to throw half her career in the shredder. And she said, Renee, there's no way. I've worked too hard, too long to fit it all on 1 page. I get it. You are proud of your work history, everything you've accomplished. You've poured your heart and soul and energy into these roles. So when someone tells you, trim it down, it can feel like a gut punch, like you're erasing part of your identity, like it's a blow to your ego. But here's the reframe. Your resume is not the full movie of your career. It's the trailer. And think about it. A movie trailer doesn't show every single scene. It shows the very best clips, the moments that hook you, the highlights that make you want to buy a ticket. Now imagine if a trailer was 3 hours long. You'd be asleep before the movie even started. That's exactly what a 3-page resume feels like to a hiring manager. Way too much, way too long. And they're checking out before they've even given you a chance. So remember, your resume should be the blockbuster trailer, not the director's cut. Just enough to spark interest, not so much that you overwhelm them. And with Catherine, to make this real, I asked her one simple question. What are the top 3 things that you want hiring managers to know about you within the first 10 seconds? We cut ruthlessly. We pulled out the results that actually mattered. Like the fact that she led a team that increased sales by 40% and reduced costs by 15%. 3 pages became 1 powerful page. And her results, within a couple weeks, she landed 4 interviews. And the feedback she got? Exactly what I expected. Your resume stood out because it was so clear, so easy to understand. Boom! She went from being ignored to being in demand just by shifting her resume from a job history to a highlight reel. And that's the point. Your resume needs to position you as the solution to the company's problem. Every company is hiring to solve something: growth, efficiency, leadership, innovation. Your resume should scream, "I've done this before and I can do it for you." That's how you grab attention. That's how you win interviews. And that's how you take control of your career. So here's the shift with your resume. You got to lead with a strong professional summary that shows what you're known for. Focus on measurable results, not responsibilities. And cut the fluff. Highlight only what proves you can deliver in the role you're aiming for. The hiring manager's question isn't, "What did this person do?" It's, "Can this person solve my problem and deliver results?" If your resume answers that question, you win the interview. They don't want to connect the dots for you. They don't have the time, the energy, or frankly, the interest. So if you don't make your value clear in 7 seconds or less, they move on. And yes, it really is 7 seconds. That's how quickly hiring managers scan a resume before deciding if they're going to read more. 7 seconds is shorter than it takes to scroll Instagram. Think about that. Your career opportunities are being judged in less time than it takes to double tap a photo. And if your resume blends in, it gets skipped, no matter how talented you are. So here's my question for you. If I looked at your resume right now, would I instantly know why you're the candidate to hire? Or would I just see another list of tasks? Be honest with yourself. Take a look at your resume. Is it a rundown of job duties, or does it have actual results highlighted? Because if your resume is just job duties, this is your turning point. If you blend in, you'll keep being overlooked. But if you make your value undeniable, you get noticed. And while you're at it, ask yourself, how many pages is your resume? Better be one. And getting noticed is the first step to everything else. Interviews, offers, and finally, the career you've been dreaming of. Next, I want to talk about the power of positioning. This is where the shift happens. Positioning isn't about who you are, it's about how you show up on paper, in interviews, in conversations. Think of it like this. Weak positioning says, responsible for managing projects. That's vague and boring, and honestly, totally forgettable. Strong positioning says, led a $2 million project that cut costs by 18%. That's specific. That's results driven. That's magnetic. Do you feel that difference? One blends in, the other one jumps off the page. And this is exactly what I mean by positioning. It's the art of making sure every word you use screams value, confidence, and credibility. And here's the kicker. Positioning starts working before you ever walk into an interview. Your resume and LinkedIn profile are already telling your story for you. The question is, are they telling the story of responsibilities or the story of results and impact? So here's a coaching moment. Pause and really reflect. If I grabbed your resume right now, would I see a story of responsibilities or a story of results? Because here's the truth. The people who land jobs faster aren't always the most qualified on paper. They're the ones who position their career stories so clearly, so powerfully, that a hiring manager instantly thinks, that's exactly who we need. And once you figure this out, it's like flipping on a light switch. You go from invisible into demand. Now let's shift into what hiring managers actually want. I'm going to pull back the curtain as a recruiter who's been doing this for more than 2 decades. Hiring managers are scanning for 3 things every single time. Clarity. Do you fit the role quickly and clearly? If your resume is buried in fluff, jargon, or endless duties, they won't see it. Number 2, confidence. Do your words prove you can solve problems, not responsible for, but delivered results? Words matter. And lastly, credibility. Do you have actual results? Numbers, metrics, specific proof that you actually did what you say you did. I can't tell you how many times I've sat with a stack of resumes and knew within seconds who I was going to call. It wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It was positioning. And here's one moment I'll never forget. I was in a hiring meeting for a leadership role. We had 30 resumes printed out. The manager flipped through the first 5, paused at one, and said, "Call this person. They've done exactly what we need." You know what stood out? It wasn't paragraphs of duties. It was one bullet that said, "Built and led a 25-person team that increased production efficiency by 32%. Clear, confident, credible." That's all it took. Meanwhile, another candidate who was just as qualified was buried under lines of job responsibilities. No results, no proof. Guess whose phone rang for the interview? Not theirs. Hiring managers want to make fast, confident decisions. They want someone who makes their life easier, not harder. So here's another coaching moment. I want you to grab your resume and circle the one bullet that would make a hiring manager stop in their tracks and say, "Call this person." If you can't find one, that's your signal. That's the work you need to do, because that one line, that right one line, can literally change the trajectory of your career. And here's the truth. When you make a hiring manager's decision easy, you instantly stand out. You become the safe choice and the smart choice at the same time. Okay, let's get practical. Here are 3 things you can do today to position yourself as the candidate every hiring manager wants to hire. Step 1, audit your resume. Search for phrases like responsible for or duties include. Those are dead giveaways that you're hiding behind tasks instead of showing impact. Replace them with action and result. I'll give you an example. Implemented new scheduling system that reduced overtime by 20%. Awesome statement. Don't underestimate this step. Replacing weak words with strong action-packed verbs can completely change how a hiring manager perceives you. It shifts from passive to proactive, from average to a leader. Step 2, align your story. Don't just describe the job you have. If you're aiming for a leadership role, show leadership in your examples, even if your title wasn't manager. Frame your career in the direction you want to go, not where you've been. This one can transform the opportunities that you attract. Hiring managers want to see potential, not just history. Show them the story of where you're headed, not just where you've been stuck. And then step 3, craft your positioning pitch. In 1 or 2 sentences, capture who you are and what you deliver. Could be something like, "I help whatever type of company achieve whatever result by whatever skill and action." This becomes the line that sticks in people's minds when you network, when you interview, or when you chat with friends who will know someone that's hiring in their circles. When you can say your value in 1 to 2 sentences, people remember it. Then they repeat it and they share it. And that's how opportunities start coming to you without you having to hustle and chase them down. And I want you to actually do this. Don't just nod along while you're on the treadmill or driving to work. Pause this episode if you need to and write down one action step. Take the first swing, because this is how you move from overlooked to in demand. Even one small shift, one stronger verb, one clearer example can open a door you didn't know was there. And here's what I want you to remember. You are not invisible. You don't need another college degree. You don't need 10 more years of experience. What you need are the right words, the right positioning to make hiring managers stop scrolling and say, that's the one. And I want to help you get started with this. I created a free guide called 50 Power Verbs that instantly strengthen your resume. These are exact words that catch a recruiter's eye and make your value pop off the page. Words that show action, words that scream confidence, words that shift you from forgettable to unforgettable. So if you're ready to transform your resume from boring to bold, grab your free copy right now. The link is in the show notes. Because sometimes one word is all it takes to shift you from being ignored to being noticed. And you, my friend, deserve to be noticed. You deserve to be the candidate every hiring manager wants to hire. If today's episode gave you that wake-up call about your resume, share it with a friend or a colleague who might be blending in instead of standing out. And if you want to keep learning how to position yourself with confidence, land interviews, and finally get noticed by hiring managers, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a future episode. I'm Renee Fry, reminding you that the right words on your resume can make a hiring manager stop, pay attention, and say, that's the one. Until next time, stay conscious, stay inspired, and keep building the career and life you love. See you next time. Cheers.